Just
Yeah, no problem. Do what you got to do, buddy.
hey, can you hear me?
Hey, welcome back.
Yes. So I think the audio is working quite well.
Yeah, everything's working. Everything looks good. I'm not sure why on my end I'm having a couple issues with the website again, but you know that has no bearings on the interview, so don't worry about it. It just means some people can't listen live.
And let's proceed.
Yeah, so let's go. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us here on Radio R. Today we have another pay type of coin. It's called DarkPay. I'm not really sure why it's called DarkPay, but we're going to learn about that today. Uh, we have SidV, who is one of the operators of the Discord, and I'm not sure if he's the owner. We'll let him tell us. Welcome to the show, Sid.
Thanks a lot, mate. I'm really happy to be here and have a little chat about our project. So
Yeah. So I found SidV from a friend of mine. Tell me about just a brief description about what got you started and what's.
So we started DarkPay as a that's very simple. I've been trading cryptocurrencies for a while now, and some friend told me about masternodes, and I dived down in this ecosystem, and we and I was quite amazed by the how can you describe it, the cam like there is something very sketchy. There was, and there still is.
Yeah, well, that's all of crypto. It's all of crypto.
Yeah,
I invested like $50 in a coin called Isabelli like a couple days ago. Just because but you don't know, man. You never know. It could be a scam. You never know.
Yeah,
it could be good. I've seen scams that ended up being really good.
Yeah, it depends, because value is absolutely sorry if my English is not accurate, but subjective. Is that a word you can use in English? Like personal point of view, like how do you value things?
Right.
That's very.
Yes. Well, it's the perception in people's minds, right?
Yes,
That's where value comes from.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of it comes from the perception in people's minds, but also there is a small equation that you could use. It's called it's utility plus warranty equals value. So if you could utilize the coin and it has a use case and it's utilized, that adds value. Plus, if it has a warranty, which means are there people supporting it? Does it have a long road ahead of it? Will it break down? When will it break down? If it never breaks down, you have great warranty, right? And then that equals value.
And I have another perception of that equation you're telling me about, is how I see things is more like the value spectrum. You have on the one hand, you have the store of value, like the extreme left. Let's represent that as a you have on the one hand the store of value, like masternodes. People deploy masternodes because they get that part of the monetary issuance. And on the other hand, you have what we call asset velocity, which is technically the transmission of the assets, and the purest form of velocity is how can you say that? The term is fungibility. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but fungibility is using your assets in real life.
So DarkPay, you could utilize assets.
The idea is to develop both ends of the spectrum. On the one hand, we started by developing the store value side with a with incentivizing masternode holders, and on the other hand, we're developing our first product, our first app, which is a DarkPay Market. That is basically a P2P software that allows basically anyone in the world to transact with anybody, and because that's, in our humble point of view, the most basic and trustworthy representation of what asset velocity is. If you can exchange an asset against, I don't know if that's the correct term, but
You're
please
doing
correct
great,
me if
buddy.
I'm wrong.
Yes. No, you're doing great. I understand.
To be able to use it for like business. What's the term, like when you exchange it for goods or services?
Yeah,
Like,
you could use it. Yeah, you could use it as money, as a
yeah,
currency.
that's the point. Yeah, you can use it as mean of exchange. Like the term, like that. I think that's
Correct.
the best.
Yep. Back in the day, they used to use clams. They used to use sand. People used to trade bread
And
for fish.
you still have people in Polynesia, I think, that use big rocks. They basically value more the biggest rocks because they are the most difficult to get from a point to another. That's
Right.
a whole
Right.
different way of giving value to something. But I'm I'm a bit that's
Okay.
yeah.
So what kind of assets? So you have some type of application you're creating where it is P2P, sort of like SoulSeek, I guess, right? Where you could trade directly with somebody else some music. What kind of assets would we be able to trade on your application?
Basically anything. Like you have we're gonna tease the app in a few days or weeks. Like it's imminent. But basically, in your wallet, you will have the ability to engage in transactions with anyone on the network. Like um, um, that deploys a listing on the network for let's say a car or any basically any stuff. You'll
Gotcha.
be able to engage in transaction. That's really, we're not reinventing where the idea behind DarkPay was to get back to the basics. What's the point of an asset? You have, on the one hand, as you have to your way to it, but I have my way also. But that's interesting. You have, on the one hand, the store value thing, the asset velocity. Like you want to be able to use, basically, we're building a cryptocurrency. You want to be able to use it in the most global and censorship free way. I guess
Yeah, of
that's
course. I
what
understand. It's called freedom. It's called freedom.
yeah, that's
But
it.
if if it's mine, I should be able to do whatever I want with it, right? Like if I own something, I should be able to sell it to whoever I want. And every asset has value depending on the person. You know,
Yeah,
one man's garbage is another man's treasure, right? So
that's
so
that.
we could, so we'll be able to trade all our any type of asset you're saying, like cars, on this application. And I applaud you for creating an application. I've been saying that for a long time, that we need to stop using DNS. So does it go through the, like, how does the application work? Is it anonymous? Can it be traced? Do you know who's selling what? Like, do you know? Can you trace it to the real person?
So on the one hand, you have what's the term, like transparent transactions, like any transaction, you put your list on the market. Someone makes an offer, you agree. There's a escrow system and a third party arbitration as well. And basically the idea is to be able to trade with anyone in any part of the world. That's in English, it's a libertarian.
Bartering. You're bartering with people.
You're what? Sorry, I
Uh,
didn't
I,
get the
I
word.
I think you're trying to say you could barter with anybody in the world.
Order. Sorry, I don't get the word. My English is a little shitty, so
You could
I
exchange one asset for another.
one asset, yeah. But when you're talking about asset, you mean any kind of service or good, right?
Correct. Anything or service. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any.
That's the whole idea. But DarkPay, we've seen a lot of people about the thing like Silk Road 3.0 and stuff, but DarkPay is to be able to act and exchange in a censorship-free way. But censorship-free doesn't mean responsibility-free. Anyone engaging in a transaction, the consequences of it, according to his or her jurisdiction, right? You have countries where thing is legal and another is illegal, but for a reason or another, you need that thing that's illegal in your country, but that's not in another. Pay
Yes.
allows
Yes. You're correct. And there's a lot more restrictions here in the United States than probably anywhere. But I do understand. So we'll be able to. You still have to be conscious of your state's laws and abide by them. So I do understand where you're getting with that. This is not us, something, for hackers. But on that note, is there a way to trace people from knowing who's selling what? Or is there a way to find out who's
what
selling what products?
technically, when you're not using zero coin, you can. That's a bit of a pain in the ass because uh, addresses are changing all the time. But technically, you can. Um, since the network is free, so will be the market. So
Right.
there
Okay.
there are transactions to be totally anonymous. Can do it.
Right. So
I,
so there's an option. So there's an option to switch over, like on Zcash, you could use a Z address if you want to be more anonymous.
I'm not totally familiar with the Zcash protocol because I'm unfortunately sorry.
Oh, you should take a look at it. It's very impressive. But I don't know if you know where you are at the moment. This is the Pirate Chain community. Uh, I do this show for the community, so I invite projects and I educate people on what they're about. Uh, but Pirate Chain, you should take a look. It's actually 100% anonymous. There's not even a block explorer to look things up. That's the type of system you might want to look into when uh, when trading assets of a
So
dangerous nature.
there's no block explorer. So how do you uh, um, how can you trust the network then? Please tell me a
These
little.
are well, the network's up and running and working, so I trust that it's working. I'm not very technical, but if you like, you could join us on the meetings every Monday and come learn. Come learn about it. Maybe you like the algorithm and you decide to switch. You never.
Yeah, totally. Because DarkPay was built on the idea that um, on two main ideas. No, let's talk about the technical, the pure technicals.
Okay.
DarkPay is meant to iteratively on the most reliable. Oh, sorry for my English. Reliable technologies. Right now, we chose to fork PIVX and use zero coin, but protocols that seem to be interesting. That's my point of
Yeah.
view of not technical.
Yeah. Well,
I get.
technically, there is no in this field there is no reliable protocol because they're all very new. You see what happened with the PIVX. There was, if you don't do the update, there was a flaw that they found about a week ago. See,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you never know. You never know in this realm, what happens.
Yes,
They could find. You never know
when,
that Bitcoin could have a problem. Um,
we're still, but there was that dude in Russia who said he was technically able to make some kind of double spend on Bitcoin.
yeah,
Um,
I saw. That's that asshole. I saw him. He thinks he's Satoshi Nakamoto.
my one of my partners in my main business told me about that, and the guy basically said he would do it live. So I don't know how it ended, but he looked pretty.
Yeah, the guy is crazy. He's the guy's a lunatic. If you had all the money that the real Satoshi Nakamoto has, uh, and and you haven't come out, till now. I mean, this guy's not Satoshi Nakamoto. He thinks he is. He's a bit delusional. I think he's got a problem in his head. Unfortunately, it probably got onto mainstream media and people are actually listening to this jackass. But the fact is, Satoshi went dark a long time ago, and he's not coming back in the light. He'll never come back in the light. It's that would just endanger Bitcoin altogether.
Yeah, but that it doesn't mean that our current protocols like Bitcoin is absolutely flawless.
Yes, I agree.
There
That's
are
correct.
there are very clever people all around the world that have the same obsession.
Yeah, but
Things that unbreakable.
the clever people, in my experience, are the ones that don't talk a lot. That guy talks too much shit.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, yeah. That totally. Yeah, yeah. Uh,
They wouldn't be telling people; they would do it. If they would probably manipulate the market first so that they could make money off of it, and then they do it, and nobody would ever know that it was done by him. That's the way it would be done in real.
do you think so? I think a person that is so stubborn that it wants to break a system that's supposed to be unbreakable in the most respectable way. I guess that may be a fantasy, but um,
Hey,
I
listen, there's so many other chains that could take over. I mean, I'm not even worried about it. If Bitcoin goes, it stops being the mother of all coins, there will be a new mother afterwards. And we don't know what it is, but who knows? It could even be, could be Roger Ver's wet dream, of Bitcoin Cash. We don't.
well, I have serious doubts about that because I'm spending very little time on crypto Twitter right now. I used to because I used to trade a lot, but um, my God, that's terrible. Like it's like propaganda. That's incredible. How can you imagine that people can
Yeah,
buy?
well,
That's just
yeah, it's actually horrible that he even took the Bitcoin name and used it for himself. So he owns Bitcoin.com. Uh, that's Roger Ver, and he's just and you see it didn't stop with him. Then there was all different types of bitcoins, right? Bitcoin Gold, uh, Bitcoin Electric or something. I don't know, Lightning Bitcoin. There's all sorts of Bitcoin now coins out there, and unfortunately, it works when using the Bitcoin name in a marketing scheme. So you know unfortunately, it works when adding the word Bitcoin to a lot of names. See, so that's
yeah,
why Bitcoin Cash
but not
got popular.
not not anymore because like, I guess it was end of 2017, and yes,
Okay.
was able to fork Bitcoin could have his or her spot. Like, do you remember Bitcoin Diamond?
Yes, I actually do. I mind a little bit.
You could even have the equivalent on Binance at that time. I think I'm not sure about the info, but if I remember correctly, it was technically a little guy in South Korea that forked Bitcoin and called it Bitcoin Diamond. So uh, was you could get the fork on Binance, so he was listed on Binance. That's crazy
Okay.
when you think
Yeah.
about
Hey,
it right
listen,
now.
listen.
I'm
A,
not
a lot of a lot of these exchanges, they all started off small. I remember Bittrex listing all the shit coins back in the day. All of them were on Bittrex. There were so many shit coins that they were all dead, and so it's they all started in the same place.
yes, indeed, but um, was like the I mean 2017 was like one of the most legit places. Have you ever been trading on HitBTC?
No, I don't go next to that one. I don't like it.
Uh,
Too many.
this one is just incredible. These are the best crooks in the world. They're crazy. They're really just if you want to have a look a scammy exchange is, please do some due diligence about HitBTC and have fun because that's
I
crazy.
I I did, bro. Trust
I
me. I stay away.
I got scammed big time. That was
Yeah, yeah.
crazy.
So where is DarkPay listed at the moment?
Crypto Bridge and Stacks right now. So what we plan right now is to make DarkPay's DAO pays DAO's governance legally recognized. So we're working with a firm right now that gave us the quote, who's gonna be voted at next super block. If it's voted, then we'll proceed.
Okay, very nice.
And technically,
So it's called a DAO. So you guys are creating a DAO. That's new.
oh yes, well, that's a DAO. That's a DAO because you can basically proposals to vote at any super block. We just activated super blocks. So next one is I think, and then after that start soft, I guess, with the budget votes, and then as the community grows, we'll go with major improvement proposal. MIP, yeah.
And for people out there who don't know DAO, DAO, it's a decentralized autonomous organization. Just want to for people.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that you were talking about forks just a little earlier, but having a working DAO prevents forks technically, because true consensus, you have someone or a group of people proposing, can be not even talking about budget right now, but major improvement proposal like MIP, and
Okay.
you put it to vote. If it passes, the community proceeds, and that's it. That's the whole point.
Yes, yes.
That's the
We
whole point.
also it's that's you'll see that a lot in community coins. There's a lot of community coins that allow the whole community to vote. Uh, the thing with voting is you never know when it's being manipulated, and it's hard to stop people from manipulating it. Also, if there's a lot of holders of a particular coin, depending on the vote, sometimes it's not fair that somebody that's holding 30% of the supply, or some ridiculous number, has a stronger vote than all the little people.
Yeah, but that's the whole point of proof of stake. The whole philosophy behind it is that if you have the bigger stake you have in the ecosystem, the likely you're gonna want it to succeed. So the more likely you're in a perfect world of how do you say that, rational agents in economy, the more likely you'll go towards the best decision. That's the main idea, right? So technically, if you own,
Right, right. You do what's in your best interests. That's it. So if you
yeah,
own a lot of it, you're going to do what's in your best interest for that coin. And I totally understand that. When if I own a coin, I always try to help it the best I can. It's if you own a lot of it, I could imagine you're probably sitting there doing everything you can for that coin. So
yes, because let's imagine you own coins of any type of coin, any project, POS, proof of stake, uh, um, makes your best decision mandatory. It means that do not take the best decision, you're gonna fuck up your investment. So
correct.
rational agent, the best consensus systems, but
Right.
flaws. That's why we're
Right. And we saw that with Lisk, right? LSK. What was that one that had the first?
I'm gonna be straightforward. I know the name, but I didn't take a look at it. I just last time I saw about it, something about it, they was basically saying it was over marketed. So I don't know the whole consensus system behind it.
Right. Well, I don't even know the name. That's how close I got to it. I didn't even. I wouldn't touch it. But it's you're definitely right. I do know that there are sometimes bad actors in this world, but you are right. And most people will do what's in the best interest of the coin and themselves. But let's get back to the DarkPay coin. So what's the supply? Let's get some facts out. What's the supply on this coin? And how is it proof of work, proof of stake? Let's get some factual stuff.
So let's have a look at some real-time data. So you want me to start with the genesis of the issuance, maybe?
Sure, anywhere you would like, bro. It's your show, buddy.
So I don't know if you took the time to take a look at the whole project, but our initial theory, we wanted to build, to truly build a community driven project. From humble point of view, the best way to do it was to incentivize early adopters, them to enter the market. We had very little pre-mine. At the time it was like 0.21%, because the max supply for phase one, because it was phased, it was like 0.21%, and build a strong community that would get involved in a project, like support. If you get to see our Telegram, you'll see that the support is basically managed by a community that are eager to help anyone at any time, and that's the whole thing. And the idea was to optimize the metrics at the beginning, like pre-mine, a small supply,
Okay.
a good ROI at the beginning.
Yeah, there's
And
nothing
then,
wrong with a little pre-mine.
and then, like, that was the first 3 months and a half period. I wanted to try right away the community driven thing. So basically asked the community to what they wanted to for DarkPay's underlying economics, right? So if you get to our website and go to the community section, you see that there were several proposals, and one
Okay.
was voted. One was voted. That was ancient knowledge proposal, and so basically accepted a vision. Then we gathered a big community. I don't know if it's big to other projects, but we're
It's actually
close
pretty big.
together.
That's why I'm here. That's why you're here today. I saw when I see a small coin blowing up for whatever reason, you probably get a request to come on my show.
Yeah, the point is we're very what's the term? We're very linked, like that. We're a true community. We all know each other, all in our real identity, but we get to talk all with each other, and
That's
we've had.
fantastic.
No, that's
That's
awesome.
great. It's good that you guys know each other. That's actually, that's something I tried to build in a lot of communities I become part of. Uh, for example, Pirate. I try holding a weekly meeting or a bi-weekly meeting so people get to know each other. I've worked with projects in the past like Komodo where a lot of people are doing different types of things, but nobody really knows what's going on with on the other. Like for example, the technical people don't know what the marketing is doing, and vice versa. And the marketing don't know what's going on with the technicals, and you need people to be close to each other and talk to each other on a regular basis in order for people to understand where the project is going. or else everybody goes in different directions, right? And and that's one of the reasons back in the day I was holding weekly meetings just for Komodo when I was the marketing manager over there. I noticed that a lot of people, in Italian, there's a saying, that the head don't know what the ass is doing.
Sure, yeah, yeah, but also say that the intestine is the second brain, so you must have some kind of connection.
Yeah, so that's a great thing, man. That means you guys could actually sit down and work on a project like right in front of each other. That's fantastic.
Yeah, uh,
Tell me about the
we're
team.
always,
Who's on the team? Tell me about the team members. It's you and how many developers. Tell me about the team.
we're so the team is like it's variable. We have lots of contributors as well. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I could hear you. Sound guy.
So we have three full time, like technical part, three full time, three part time. We have contributors like people who freely give some time to develop things for the project. Let's let's
Yes,
uh,
yes,
celebrate our friend Skeltor, who did great things, because that guy gives a lot of his time and he has very little. So that's of what we dreamt of when starting project. I that
yes,
that, that was
yes.
just a
I know a lot about doing that.
well, that's the best thing we could have. So we have basically three full times, part time, and around six non-technical profiles from different backgrounds, and
Okay.
that's the whole point, because a project, that's the way we see it. A
Hey, a
project
team
like
member, a team members with skills. That's what a project needs, or else it dies. So, you have some team members with skills. That's fantastic. Any advisors to the project?
advisors. I guess I guess our best advisors are the community. We always I personally always have PMs, things, and lots of the great things we did was those suggestions, public and private alike. So basically, the where that's a bit awkward, because we conceived that as some kind of like, let's do something through collective intelligence and working. We have people all around the world
Okay, and you answered that question just fine. The community is the best answer, because everybody in the community is most likely invested, and like you said earlier, the people who hold a portion of the investment will always, or most of the time, will make the best decisions.
yes,
Um, and everybody in the community has different skills. Like nobody would probably know I was a network engineer for multiple years, for a Fortune 30 company. So that's great. Let's. So you said there's funding. There was a pre-mine for funding. So, and I'm just getting the investment questions out of the way. People who want to invest. These are the type of questions they want to know. So, is there funding for the project to continue? And how long can the project continue on the current funding that you have?
so on the current funding we have, since we're playing the very very lean game, uh, I can't tell you, because when I don't know if you've ever been. No, I guess you are, but in very very lean businesses, you always find a way, and you know it before. Know that you're running lean. You have your goal, whatever it takes, without
Right. You have
without
a budget.
very lean. We're
Lean budget. A very lean budget. You don't spend money where you don't have to.
oh no, oh no, 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 no. We're super lean. You can't imagine the the number of times I well, I guess you know that lots of people are like, when exchanges are the best way for the price to go up, and that's well, exchanges. I'm always putting up that link. I don't know if you know that link. Like, that's a website that's called blockchaintransparency.org. If you
Oh,
know that.
actually, no. No, I haven't heard it, but it sounds like a cool site. I'm gonna check it out right
So that's funny because it's a independent audit. Can you say that in English?
Yep.
DIT.
Yep, like a code audit. Yep.
uh, Company that basically analyzed the trustworthiness of volume on several exchanges, and that's
Yeah, yeah. And there was actually, and I don't see it anymore, but and this could probably come back. Who knows? Back in the day when the environment was kind of like now, when a lot of coins are coming out all of a sudden, for whatever reason. Um, there was two guys in Bitcoin Talk that was making a shit ton of money just auditing people's codes because they could do that, and they would actually find issues in the code and would report it back to the person. And some people would hire them just to audit somebody else's coin, just to make sure that the coin they invest in is okay. So yeah, that's a is that's what blockchaintransparency.com is about?
no, that's a good point you were talking about, because there are my place. I know people building businesses on, and doing it how do you say that, insurance firms partnerships, like they're
Okay, legal reasons they're doing it.
yeah, that's a very interesting subject, but that's not the point right now. But yeah, auditing code is like the basic, and make it in a legal compliant way is the next step. But I was talking about auditing exchanges volume. I
Yeah, yeah. I heard that a lot of the volume on a lot of these exchanges are fake. And actually, if you wanna correlate, another issue that I've seen is a lot of these news websites buy traffic, right? So it's kind of like buying traffic on a popular news website like Cointelegraph, and it's like it's if you want to correlate it, it's the exchange is just buying popularity by buying more traffic, by buying more volume. So
yes, that's but yeah, yeah, technically, so they get up in CMC, so they can charge a lot, because if you take a look, I just sent you the uh, on PM, and take the time to have a look, and you'll see that exchanges, like supposedly big exchanges, they basically fake volume so they can ask lots of money from projects, and that's how they
yes,
actually make money, because they don't have that much traders
it's true.
at
It's true, and
all.
and I've actually seen them try to sell it to me too.
Yeah, that's awful. So
Yeah, well, you know what? It's part of doing our own due diligence, and it looks like you're on a pretty respected exchange. We like what's that that decentralized one?
yeah, yeah. I personally love decentralized exchange since I got robbed by HitBTC. Oh, scared and stressed
Ah,
that
yes, another victim.
I couldn't trade anymore, knowing that I do not own my private keys. So that's when I used to trade full time. I switched to IDEX at the time. Because there was like the was very there was lots of volatility, and we were still in the ICO frenzy, so there were distribution inefficiencies to how do you say, to exploit.
Oh, cool.
Uh,
All right. Was this an ICO? I forgot to ask.
what you're talking about?
DarkPay, was DarkPay an ICO?
No, no, no. We had a very small private sale. We sold how
Okay.
many masternodes? Like I guess we sold maybe, yes, 20 masternodes at the time.
Okay. Like institutional investors.
Yes, the guys that invested at the time are the pillars of our community.
Yes.
You can have a chat with them.
Yes, and there's nothing
Usually,
wrong with that. People, if they receive a few more coin than you, there's nothing wrong with that. If it wasn't for some of these institutional investors, a lot of these projects would never get off the ground. So you should, in retrospect, you could probably thank them instead of hating them.
oh, yes, yes. I we are very grateful of all the crew. That's how we call them, the NL crew. If you take a look at our masternodes map
Uh,
on DarkPay, you'll see a lot of masternodes in Netherlands. So that's funny because we
Oh,
got with these people. They're awesome. They're awesome, and
there's a
Alcom,
lot
they
of good
are
people in Netherlands.
awesome. All of them. Like we, our first contributors. They are basically the people that build the project, and then afterwards NL as well, like alcombase.nl, which is an awesome team. They're building a great media that's trying to educate people and trading, and they're doing it in a very honest way. So if you have time to check them out, alcombase.nl. But
Okay, yeah. When you said NL, I was thinking naughty lingerie. But that's just me.
Netherlands, that's Netherlands. No,
Giggity,
but
giggity.
we have a great community, and can I say more than
Yeah,
thank you
yeah,
guys,
no,
thank
that's
you for me.
fantastic. One more thing? Do you have any marketing plans? Any, do you have like a marketing team maybe, or a person, or do you have any plans?
Sure, sure, sure. Our strategy is to go for the most actions. Personally, killing my mental health on that, but I love it because that's a great challenge, and I'm working on that every day, finding new ways. But
Yeah,
there's a thin line between marketing things right and doing it the wrong way. Like I mean, not according to your core principles. So that's very interesting. I'm so keen on that right now. Like going lean, but not crossing the line of the shield. Like how do
yes,
you say that? Yeah, that's absolutely interesting. And
yes.
I
There's a
personally
lot of
believe
bad practices. There's a lot of bad practices out there that people are using, and they may sometimes work temporarily, but Google does catch on eventually. So yeah, marketing is a very fragile thing, and there's a lot of things that could be done that could keep you lean, like you said, which is like you could open up social media accounts and start, posting on them. Once, twice a week is fine because Google, on an SEO basis, they just had the spiders need to see one or two things new a week to keep you high on the ranking, or just keep your ranking where it is. So there's a lot of things involved, but I understand where you're going with that. So you do marketing?
Yeah. Actually, my first job was I used to work with a marketing and innovation consultant. So he was always going with the leanest way to do things. So to apply that. But that's interesting because that space is constantly evolving, and you have to be smart, but though always this thin line between like get 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 the word out,
Yes,
like
yes.
you
And
that's
and
that
but
now.
so are you going to be the marketing manager? Here on out, is that your permanent position?
Well, I guess yes. I have that management position that's like a bit general. So yes, marketing is what I'm.
So 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 tell me about some of your tricks, man. I'll tell you some of mine if you tell me some.
Some of my tricks.
And some things
Uh,
I do, I don't even tell people I do, but I do it anyway because I know it's beneficial.
like what? Tell me your tricks. I tell you mine.
So so the trick I have is what I do is I open up. I could over 100 social medias. So there's a lot of social medias out there. Meta Cafe, you got Vimeo. I mean, you could open accounts in so many social medias. It'll take days, literally. I a couple days ago I spent the whole day, literally like freaking 14 hours creating accounts, right? Uh, and I think I got up to like 36 or something. 36 different social medias account, Twitter's, Facebook, every single one of them. Uh,
Oh,
the project
you
I
work
work for currently is on.
you work
With
with
this,
the SEO. You're hustling the SEO, right?
yes. So we're creating, link backs. It's called bookmarking actually, but so every one of those sites have great SEO juice. They And what happens is, if you're able to get a link back in the social profile back to the, say pirate.black website, you'll get some of that juice and it'll increase your rankings. And that doesn't occur instantly, of course. So you got to wait for spiders to get it to it, but then there's tricks also to get the Google to look at it faster, like pingler.com. You could cache it. You could get Google to cache it faster. So every time I create a backlink, a post, social, some type of social, and anything that I create a link for, whether it's on another person's website or a social media account I created, any link you want to get Google to see, you just go to pingler.com, or Linklicious is one of my favorite paid services, but I just haven't been able to afford it lately. Um, that's one of my favorite ways to get the base started on a new project. I believe when a project starts, they should have all these accounts already. They should already be there. You should be on all of them. And if you don't have somebody to post on every one of them on a regular basis, then you should probably find a way to automate it using IFTTT, or some other stuff out there like OnlyWire maybe, or there's another one. I forgot the name of it. Oh, Buffly, something like that.
That's actually a very interesting point of view that I'm noting in my mind, because I was fed with the other side of marketing, is like more of um, you're doing the technical part. I was fed with the term spread your message, like, and be honest with it.
Yes, and the more honest you are in your marketing, I noticed over time that you'll benefit.
Create a
There's no.
create a community and build it. That's the. I'm pretty sure you're a way better marketer than I am. So
I just know
let me
what
know if.
I just know what not to do anymore. That's because I've
But,
made my mistake.
but if you have good tricks that we could use for DarkPay, I'll be glad to have a
It's, it,
to have
it, you
a
could call
glance
it
at.
tricks. You could call it tricks, but at the end of the day, it's hard work. You actually got to get,
Yeah, that's
it's a lot of work. Making pictures for every single social media, making setting up each account takes at least 20, 30 minutes each, maybe more. Sometimes it's even hard to make the account. I still have trouble making an Instagram account. I keep getting blocked or I don't know. I hate Instagram. But anyway,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you see the more I believe the more work and there's no shortage of work in marketing. If you're marketing something, there's always something to do. Images to create, things to announce. There's always something to do. You could sit here and spend all day on it technically.
yes, that's right, and that's why we really rely also on that community-driven vision, because I'm always asking community, what do you think about that? What should we do about that? Always, all the time, because you don't have the pure knowledge of everything. You can't. So yeah, I'm learning every day as well.
Yep, no, and that's what it's about. Learning something new every day. That's my goal. I learned how to make a video game last night. So I made a cute little pirate video game while I was drunk last night. But you know what? It's actually really cool. I kind of got addicted to it. I started. It's really hard to shoot the ships. So yeah, I mean you got to learn something new every day. You know what? Most people that value learning something new every day, in their personal lives, a lot of them are in crypto. It's you won't find people who drink beer in front of the TV all night long just to go to their shitty job the next day. They probably they have no idea what crypto is. It's just people. They're people that like to learn, and then there's people that just like to keep things as they are.
Yeah, yes, you're right. That's about being hungry for knowledge. I think that's what drives our world. That's what drove our world from the beginning, I guess. Being hungry for knowledge, like creating fire and stuff. At but
Yep. That's the drive.
being hungry for knowledge and going forward always. And since we have access to internet, like we have on the one hand the most powerful tool if you know how to use it, like you're able to self-teach and have that genuine curiosity. You can basically do whatever you want, and if you're passively pulling info, slave of the system. That's my point of view about
Very cool. Very cool.
about today's knowledge acquisition. You have to be proactive, not to be a victim. If I'm
Yes.
going real,
Yes. Well,
real
listen. You have a dream. You made a dream here, and I applaud you for that. And you're making it work. There's a lot of other people in the world, man. I just met a guy with 4 kids. That they yelled at him. They thought he was a scam. And something inside of me. I don't believe it is a scam. I heard his daughter talking. I mean, I don't think it is a scam, honestly. But you know what? He was asking for $10 from everybody. I mean, I've lost a lot more than fucking $10 in my life, right? So, I mean, what's a couple? Sorry, I gave $10. I gave a few bucks. Actually, I gave $50, honestly. But they gave me like 5 bags of coins, and whatever, if it ends up being something, I'll just throw it with the other bags of coins I got. Right?
Yeah.
All right, brother.
So
You have any links? You have any links? Any what's your website? What's the URL for your website so people could go and take a look, see what it's.
I'm you
Can you hear me? All right, you
have
back?
it right there. But I advise people to maybe have a look at the Medium as well.
Okay, you have a Medium. You have a Discord. Can they find the Discord on your website?
Yes, sure. Yeah, they can. So I guess the best way to get in touch with our vision is to get involved in Discord. So you have the true vision of DarkPay.
Yeah, and you can ask questions and get help with the wallet, right? Stuff like this.
Yeah.
Definitely join.
If you're gonna broadcast the interview right now, let's we're having the second AMA session, so let's let it live for a few days more. Maybe if people from your community want to ask questions, whatever they like, we
Well, this community tends to listen to the after show. They don't really come on live. That's why I wasn't too worried about the live not working today for some reason. I see it working on my end. I don't know what the hell's going on. Always something with these technical stuff, right? Uh, but yeah, I mean, I appreciate you coming on today, my man. Good job too. You see, it wasn't hard, right?
but what?
It wasn't hard, right? Coming on today on the
No, no,
show.
no, that was very nice. Actually, I had a great time with you. I think we share the same vision of things, so that's nice. That's nice to get to know someone. It's internet magic. I love it.
You know what? If a lot of people in crypto realm think along the same ways, along the same lines. I mean, I think we were all brought here not just to make money, but I personally found Bitcoin when I hated the government. I hated being working every day. I was living off the street. I was at the time I was living on the street, out of my car, taking showers at the gym, and I was still keeping my amazing job, right? So I was nobody knew I was in the street, but I was actually going in and out of work every day, from my car. So and then at that point it's like why they taxing me 1/3 of my paycheck? They take 1/3 of my paycheck in
You're
taxes and
right.
other bullshit, right? And then you go to the store, you get taxed again. You go to the gasoline station, you get taxed on the money you pay again. You see, so there's something wrong, right? And if they did not tax me, I would have been in a better position at that time. When you're making only $1,200 bi-weekly, and they take like fucking $400 out of their paycheck, that's a big deal for somebody not making a lot. Even
Absolutely.
though I had a good position, I wasn't getting paid a lot, so the position was good, but it didn't pay for $1,500 a month in rent and all the costs of living and such. So,
I
uh,
absolutely
so
know what you're talking about. I
when,
I
when I
experienced
found Bitcoin,
as well.
when I found Bitcoin, it was my way to fight. It was my way to fight back. I was like, finally, something they're scared of, something I could invest in to tell them to go fuck themselves, right?
Yeah,
That's why I got into Bitcoin. And everybody told me I was crazy.
you're totally right. That's the whole point.
I'm sorry, man. I get on a tangent. I get very passionate about these
Oh,
subjects.
no worries. I am as well. I am as well.
All right, brother. Thank you for coming on today, man. Love you, dude. You did a good job.
Thanks a lot, mate, and come by whenever you want. And as anyone in your community, you're free to come and bad questions, good questions. No worries. You can PM me, whoever you are. No worries. And thanks a lot for
Awesome, man.
have a nice day.
All right, brother. Talk to you later. Thank you for coming on. Everybody out there, thank you for listening to us today. That was DarkPay Coin. Very cool name. I do love the name. I think it is a very marketable name. And this is Luke signing out.